Hi, welcome. I'm Helen. This is a 45-minute fun power flow. Today we're going to focus on Mula Bandha, or your root lock. And it's a pelvic floor lift applicable for both men and women, all about supporting your spine and helping you to move better in arm balances, inversions, create a sense of lift, kind of moving energy upward. A lot of times in classes I feel like we hear the words Mula Bandha, but it's not always explained well or taught well, and so I'm hoping today that we can find this sensation or idea in lots of different shapes so that you can find that connection to what it means in your body. And we will use 2 blocks today, so if you've got blocks handy, grab those, get them set up on either side of your mat. And if you don't have blocks, no worries at all. I'll give options without them. Or you can grab a little stack of books, about 4 to 6 inches, a sturdy water bottle, something to kind of press yourself up on that is pretty sturdy, so it's not going to fall over. So we're going to start lying on your backs. Once you're ready, get yourself set up there, get comfortable, and we'll begin. So once you've arrived on your mats, try to snuggle your shoulders down away from your ears. Your palms can face up or face down or come onto your body. Doesn't matter what the shape is. If you prefer to have your knees bent or be on your belly or on your side, that's totally cool too. Close your eyes. And really take a moment here to arrive on your mat, into your space and into your practice. Notice how you're feeling. Notice what you're thinking about. And start to notice your breath and then lengthen and deepen your breath. And our pelvic floor is actually connected to our diaphragm through connective tissue, and so with our deep breaths, we are moving the pressure system in our abdomen. And so your pelvic floor might start to engage and release as you breathe in and out. If you'd like, you can turn on Ujjayi breath, nice and loud, in and out through your nose. Create that audible sensation. That rhythmic, warming breath. And then when you're ready, if your eyes are closed, blink them open, stretch your arms above you, get really long, wiggle your fingers and your toes. Draw your knees into your chest, give yourself a little squeeze and a gentle rock side to side. Place your feet on the ground so your knees point up to the sky like you're going to set up for a bridge pose. We're just going to find a pelvic floor engagement here. So there's 3 layers of muscle that form almost like a little hammock, holding your internal organs up at the base of your spine and in your pelvic bowl. And that's what we're thinking of, that lift. So just start with a simple pelvic tilt. You can do this on an inhale or an exhale. Just keep your breath. Think about scooping your tailbone under and pressing your low back into the ground. And maybe you feel a gentle pull up of your pelvic floor and then release. And if you're not feeling anything yet, that's okay. It's very subtle. I'm just going to move through those. A little tilt of your pelvis and a release. And continue at your pace, pressing your low back into the ground, scooping your tailbone under, and then releasing back to neutral. And if that feels like the right place for you to stay, feel free to stay there. If you'd like to add on, you're going to take the little pelvic tilts, press through your feet, engage your glutes, and lift your hips off the ground. And then maybe here, think about that pelvic floor lift as if you're stopping the flow of urine or engaging your anal sphincter. Always funny when we can say that in a yoga class. And then slowly roll yourself down. Release the pelvic tilt back to neutral and release your pelvic floor engagement. And we'll continue like that. So either the little tilt simple or a tilt, press your low back, engage your glutes, your pelvic floor lifts. You can stay as long as you like up and then slowly release it down. And I like to inhale, tilt, lift up, and exhale, lower. You might find that the opposite breath works better for you, or that you want to hold at the top for a full breath in and out. Let's just do one more. Come back onto your back, knees up to the sky. Cross your right thigh up and over your left. You can tuck your toes if you want. We're taking eagle legs, and then eagle arms, arms overhead, breathe in. Cross your right arm below your left as you breathe out. Either hold opposite shoulders or connect your hands. Inhale here. Exhale, elbows to knees, little crunch in. So still using that pelvic floor engagement and your navel to spine. Inhale, extend. Exhale, draw it in. Find that stability. Breathe in. And breathe out. Let's do two more. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Release your head and neck down. Unwind your arms. Keep your legs. If your toes are tucked, you can unwrap them. Hands to your knees or your shins, and then hug them into your chest. And if that feels like enough, stay. If you've got the space, open your feet out. Find the outer edges of your feet, and then draw your feet toward your shoulders while you pull your tailbone down to the ground. I feel that in the outer edges of my hips and glutes. Maybe you feel it someplace else. Just a little stretch, breathe. Release, uncross, and we'll go right away to the second side. Left thigh moves up and over. Toes can tuck if you like or not. Arms to the sky, inhale. Exhale, left arm below. Find your version of eagle arms. Breathe in. Elbows to knees as you breathe out. So really using your pelvic floor engagement. Inhale to reach. Exhale to draw it in, as well as navel to spine. To find a sense of control, let's do three more. And a sense of moving energy up your body to create lightness and lift. I already lost count, so how about one more? Release your upper body, unwrap your arms. Hands to your knees or your shins, uncross your toes if they're tucked. Hug everything to your chest, stay. Or if you found it on the other side or want to find it here, outer edges of your feet, draw your tailbone down. Breathe into sensation. And then slowly uncross, back to your bridge setup, and we'll just take a standard bridge pose. You can do the pelvic tilt and then lift if you like, hands flat, or if you want a little bit more, interlace your fingers, hug your shoulders together to find more openness through your chest. And then imagine drawing your knees away from your shoulders, lengthen your spine as you lift your pelvic floor, Mula Bandha. The word bandha translates to lock, to hold. It's all about holding in energy, moving energy, supporting, stabilizing. And this is an important one at the base of your spine. If you're still up, release your hands. If they're connected, lower yourself down. And then hands behind your legs, start to rock and roll forward and back the length of your spine. We're gonna meet in a boat pose. I'm gonna take probably 2 or 3. If you want more or less, feel free to find that. Shins parallel to the ground, arms can go wide. If you want a little bit more, arms to the sky. Find that pelvic floor lift, and then navel to spine as well. It's kind of the second lock. We won't go there today, but another engagement or control of energy. Open your collarbones, make sure you're breathing and smiling. One more inhale, and exhale, release. Find your way to a butterfly pose, feet together, knees out wide. And this is a nice shape to release the engagement. So also important that we're not always constantly engaged in Mula Bandha, that pelvic floor lift. We find a sense of release. Lift your heart, breathe in, gently lean forward. Still super early for this stretch, so just move to your comfortable edge without forcing or pushing. Continue to breathe. And slowly lift up. You can stay with your legs like this. You can extend them long. You can find a crisscross shape with your legs. going to teach you another way to find that Mula Bandha, or to feel the sensation of drawing in and up, which is what it's doing. A little bit funky, so good thing you're at home. You're going to take one hand, bring it in your waistband, and find the top of your butt crack. So kind of the very top, you might feel a little bony sensation there. So top of your tailbone, maybe bottom of your sacrum, depending on your anatomy. And you're going to find that same pelvic floor lift, drawing everything up and in. And you might feel, and maybe the goal is to feel, that bone move slightly away from your fingertip as you're drawing up and in. And so what that's showing you is what's happening. All the muscles are kind of drawing energy toward your spine to support your pelvis, support that spinal movement. It's just another fun way to find Mula Bandha. When you found it, or when you're over, hands in the pants, you're going to find your way to feet on the ground, knees to the sky. If you've got your blocks, you might choose to use them here. If not, no worries. A stack of books, something stable, or nothing at all. Hands come to blocks or to the ground. As you inhale, reverse tabletop, lift your hips. I like my chin tucked in. You can always relax your head back. As you exhale, you're going to either tap your bottom to the ground, or find that pelvic floor lift, send your bottom back around through your upper back. So you get a little bit more space if you've got the blocks or books. Inhale to lift. Exhale, send your bottom down or through your hands. Totally cool to do it without. Let's try 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, tap or swing it through. 1 more. Breathe in. And breathe out. Take 1 more inhale. Exhale, lower. Find your way to regular tabletop, hands and knees. So we're doing a lot of stuff floating and flying today. So I want to stretch out our wrists. Fingertips can go wide. You can move a little side to side, forward and back. Find cow and cats. Really anything goes here. Just shifting some weight on your hands in a different way. If that's enough, stay. If you'd like more, fingertips point back, thumbs out to the sides. A forward and back, a side to side, a cow and cat here. If that's enough, stay. If you want more, fingertips forward, and then flip your palms to face up, fingertips toward your knees. And you could do one at a time or both at the same time. For me, it feels more intense if I lean back. You can stay there. You can rock it forward, side to side, cow and cat. Remember to keep breathing as I'm not cueing it. So find your breath, that rhythm. Keeps you present, keeps you connected. And then back to your regular tabletop. So one last place before we find it in other shapes to find that pelvic floor lift. And a sensation that I like to think about is buckling a seatbelt across my hip bones to engage transverse abdominals, or those really deep ab muscles. It's like a corset that's going to connect to your pelvic floor as well. So imagine slightly super subtle engaging there to lift your pelvic floor. And ideally we can do the 2 separately, pelvic floor and core, but they do work so well together that it's nice to find them together. With that engagement, you're going to inhale, extend opposite arm and leg at the same time, right leg, left arm. Exhale, lower everything back to the mat. And we're going to switch sides. Try to keep your pelvis neutral. Inhale, extend, and exhale, release. There's a glass of milk or water or wine or beer on your low back. You don't want it to spill. We're creating that stability through your pelvic floor engagements. Mula Bandha. Keep moving with your breath. One more each side. You can always move faster or slower than me. And then make your way to downward facing dog. Hands a little forward, tuck your toes, lift your hips. And similar to your bridge pose or being on your back, since we're kind of using gravity to our favor, you might be able to find that sensation of lifting pelvic floor away from the base of your spine, or toward the base of your spine, I should say, away from the floor or the sky as it is right here. Create length through your spine, press your chest to your thighs, hips really high. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, try a few little hops. With that pelvic floor engaged, maybe you can catch a little lightness. Lift halfway, breathe in. Forward fold, release. One more like that. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Rise to standing, arms sweep high. Exhale, palms together in front of your heart. Find your steady mountain pose. That could be hands at heart center, hands by your sides, feet together or wide. Imagine that pelvic floor engagement, a sense of drawing in and up. Relax your shoulders. Hands overhead, full breath in. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, your version of Vinyasa. You can step back through high plank to Chaturanga. You can hop it back, land Chaturanga, elbows bent. You can take it to your belly for Cobra instead of up dog. You can skip this entirely. Try to stay connected to your breath. What feels best for you right now? Find your pelvic floor engagement, that sense of lifting. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, step, hop, maybe a little float to the top of your mat. Halfway lift, breathe in. Forward folds, breathe out. Rise up, reach high. Palms together in front of your heart. One more sun salute A. Inhale, reach to the sky. Exhale, forward folds. Lift halfway, breathe in, find length through your spine. Your version of Vinyasa, I'm gonna hop back, land Chaturanga, elbows bent. Up dog, breathe in, open your chest. Downward facing dog, breathe out, hips to the sky. 3 full breaths here. Bend your knees, breathe in, look forward. Try to float to the top of your mat. Halfway lift, inhale. Forward folds, release. Rise up, hands high. Palms together in front of your heart. Inhale to chair pose. And find that same sense of lift as you engage your glutes and your hamstrings. Your pelvic floor draws up and in. Low belly engages to support your low back. Relax your shoulders. Add a smile to your face. We'll hold here for 2 full breaths. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, breathe in. This time exhale, hands down, right foot steps back. Open to warrior 2 right away. Right heel pivots flat, cartwheel your arms open. And then find your feet, front heel in line with back heel or arch. Back toes point a little bit forward. So you're really rooting down through the outer edge of your back foot, lifting through the arch of your right foot, your back foot, and then bend into your left knee, eventually moves over your ankle. Maybe not today, maybe not ever, but thinking about moving in that direction. And then see if you can find that pelvic floor lift here too. So I think about as if I could pull my mat together with both of my feet, kind of drawing in and then finding that energy up. Reach long through your fingertips. Send that energy you're drawing from the earth up your legs, through your Mula Bandha, up to the crown of your head and out your fingertips. 2 more full rounds of breath. One inhale, reverse warrior, up and back. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down, make your way to downward facing dog. Take a flow if you want it, maybe a one-legged chaturanga, maybe some extra push-ups. You want a little bit of heat. Maybe you skip all of that entirely. From down dog, big breath in. Open your mouth, let it go. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Find your pelvic floor lift, Mula Bandha. See if you can hop lightly to the top of your mat. Halfway lift. Forward folds, release. Stand tall, reach high, breathe in. Palms together in front of your heart, breathe out. Same thing, second side. Inhale to your chair pose. Find the depth in your legs and then that sense of lightness or lift from the base of your spine up and really below. I have a yoga teacher friend who likes to say in class, pee, don't pee, pee, don't pee. It always makes people laugh, but the same idea of those muscles, that control that you have, we want to engage and lift when we want to feel a little bit lighter. One more inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Halfway lift, breathe in. Exhale, hands down, left foot steps back, open to your warrior 2. Take your time to settle, find your alignments, maybe go a little bit deeper, and then feel that sense of drawing your legs as if you're pulling your heels together and lifting the energy up to the crown of your head. So our root chakra, or the base of our spine, the energetic center there, is all about a sense of rootedness, our connection to the earth, our stability in our life. And by engaging this Mula Bandha, this root lock, it helps us find connection there. Inhale, reverse warrior, up and back. Exhale your way to downward facing dog. Step back, flow it through. Maybe an extra chaturanga or a one-legged chaturanga or both. Feel free to stay in down dog. Feel free to drop your knees. Take a moment in child's pose. We'll take 5 full breaths, really noticing just everything that's going on for you. Body, mind, and breath. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Step, hop, try that float, top of your mat. Halfway lift, breathe in. Forward folds, breathe out. Rise to standing, sweep up. Palms together in front of your heart, exhale. Weight into your left foot, right foot comes up for tree pose, ankle, calf, thigh. If you want to play with a half lotus, you can take the outer edge of your foot to your left hip crease. Try to find your sense of lift from your pelvic floor, that stability to help you balance. And maybe your arms reach to the sky, maybe you look up. Inhale to one-legged Tadasana, arms overhead, right knee high. Exhale to eagle, right thigh crosses over, sit into your chair, right arm goes under. Wrap your hands, connect your palms, back of your hands, or hands to opposite shoulders. Squeeze, lift, and then draw your right hip back. Can you sit lower? Can you lift your elbows? Stay, or as you exhale, elbows to knees, little standing crunch. 2 more breaths, inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Once more, breathe in. And breathe out. Unwind, one-legged Tadasana. To your warrior 3 as you exhale, foot back, heart forward. So keeping in mind the idea of your Mula Bandha, that lift in these different shapes, where can that let you feel lighter, let you feel more stable, let your spine move a little bit better or feel longer. Shoulders out of your ears, crown of your head forward, back heel really presses back. One more inhale. Exhale, warrior 2. Step back and open it up. 1 full round of breath here. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down. 3-legged dog, left leg floats up and back. Open up your hip, bend your knee. Create some movement, circles, bend, straighten. If you want to flip for a wild thing, you can drop your left foot behind you. Reach your left arm forward. Keep that same sense of lightness, of lift, to extend through your spine. And if you flipped back to a 3-legged dog, left leg up, take a little hop with your right foot, maybe a foot in front of where it is, maybe halfway up your mat, and then play with some handstand hops. So engaging Mula Bandha, your pelvic floor lift to stabilize your pelvis, to find lightness, to move energy up away from the earth. I like to inhale, left leg to the sky. Maybe right leg just follows. Maybe you hug right knee to chest, or can find a little hang time. And just play. Press the ground away. Gaze between your fingers, but try not to overthink it. Feeling that sense of lightness. When you've had enough, top of your mat, forward fold. Halfway lift, breathe in. Folds, breathe out. Stand tall, reach high, inhale. Palms together in front of your heart, exhale. Second side, weight into your right foot, left leg comes up for tree, ankle, calf, or thigh. If you took half lotus on the other side, you're welcome to take it here. Press your foot into your thigh into your foot, or wherever your foot is on your leg. And let that engagement together toward the midline, find that sense of pelvic floor engagement and lifting away from the earth. If you want to challenge your balance, arms up, look up. Breathe for 2 full rounds. Inhale to one-legged Tadasana, knee high, arms high. Exhale to eagle, left leg on top, left arm below. Find Mula Bandha. Even out your hips, knees and elbows in one line. Stay as you are, or inhale, and exhale, little crunch elbows to knees. 2 more breaths. You move or stay in the way that feels the most supportive for you, or in the way that feels the best in your practice today. Remember that every day is different. Unwind one-legged Tadasana, breathe in. Warrior 3 as you exhale. So even when we're on one leg, you can still find pelvic floor lift engagements. That supportive Mula Bandha helps break through resistance to change, keeps us out of that sluggishness. While being grounded and connected, you're not forced to the ground or stuck in one place. One big inhale. Exhale, warrior 2, step back and open it up. A full round of breath, breathe, stay, feel it here. Reverse warrior, inhale, up and back. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down. 3-legged dog, right leg floats up and back with you. Open your hip, bend your knee. Allow some movement, a sense of stillness, or just a moment to notice how everything feels. If you want to flip, right foot follows behind you, right arm forward, wild thing. Hips high. Then if you flipped back to your 3-legged dog. A little step or hop forward with your left foot, you choose how much. I like mine just a little bit. It might go all the way halfway up your mat. And then some handstand hops again. Shift your weight forward, find your Mula Bandha, and then use that energetic lift to float your right leg to the sky. Maybe you can hang, one side's always easier. Maybe today it's just not happening. Couple more tries, couple more rounds of breath, or meet me in a forward fold ragdoll variation. Release your hands, walk your fingertips to your right. Bend one or both knees, lean your hips a little bit left. And then back through center to the other side. Hands left, hips right. Back to center, heel toe your feet in toward each other. Soften your knees, tailbone heavy, roll yourself to standing. Head is the very last thing to come up. Adjust as you need. Shoulder shrugs up, back and down. One more, inhale, lift your shoulders, exhale, release. We'll come into chair pose, inhale, sit low, and then right away to eagle, right arm below, right leg above. Toes can tap, they can hug, they can wrap, right hip back. You can stay, you can draw elbows to knees, find your Mula Bandha, whatever you choose, or a version of side crow. Hands unwrap, legs stay. I like to unwrap my toes. Hands come to the right side of your mat, make a shelf, one or both elbows. Drop your thigh onto your elbows. Lean forward, you can keep your legs crossed. You can play with extending. Find your pelvic floor lift here. Eventually make your way back to eagle if you're somewhere else. Cross ankle fold, so your right leg slides down your left, your hands release, unwrap, come down to the ground. Nod your head yes, breathe in. Shake your head no, breathe out. Walk your hands to your right. You might bend your right knee, you might bend both knees. Lean a little bit left with your hips. And then other side, hands to your left, maybe hips lean a little right. And back to center. Fingertips forward. If you've got your water bottle or your block handy, you can place your right hand on it in front of your right toes, 12 to 18 inches. Start to lift your left leg. We're going to open up right away to half moon. So left shoulder and hip peel open. Activate your left leg. Find that pelvic floor lift. Notice how maybe that lets you get a little lighter in your right fingertips. Maybe you can take your right hand to your heart. Keep breathing. One more big breath in. Exhale, step it back to warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior, up and back. Exhale to standing splits, cartwheel your hands down, left leg high. And you can stay, you can work balance, hands to your ankle, your calf, head toward your shin. You can take your handstand hops from here, wherever you are. Just notice if you can find Mula Bandha and how that changes any shape, any pose, any movement for you. Forward fold is our release. Take your time to get there. Lift halfway, breathe in. Folds, breathe out. Stand up, reach up, inhale. Palms together in front of your heart, exhale. Second side, then we'll slow things down. Inhale to chair. Exhale, eagle, left arm below, left leg above. Option to stay, even things out, find a stretch, a sensation. Option to crouch, elbows to knees. Option to take that variation of a side crow or kind of a flying eagle to the left. Unwrap your arms, keep your legs. I untuck my toes, that feels more accessible. Make a shelf with your elbows. Find your pelvic floor lift, your Mula Bandha, lean forward. Maybe legs stay, maybe they extend. Make sure you're breathing. If you found the arm balance, it's not always graceful, find your way back to eagle. And then cross ankle fold to release. Left leg slides on your right leg, hands unwrapped to the ground. Nod your head yes, breathe in. Shake your head no, breathe out. Crawl your hands to your left. Bend your left knee, both knees, hips lean a little right. Back through center to the other side. Feel free to grab any props you have. Weight comes a little bit forward. Left hand onto your block, your water bottle. Right leg floats for your half moon on the other side. Peel open your right hip, your right shoulder. A little bit more grounding, more stable, at least for me. If I look down, a little bit more challenging to look sideways or up, so you choose what feels best today. Find that engagement of Mula Bandha. Stabilize your pelvis. Maybe it helps you balance. Maybe it gets light on your fingertips. Hand to heart. Other variations. Breathe, breathe, breathe. One more inhale. Big step back to warrior two, exhale. Reverse warrior, inhale, reach it up and back. Exhale, standing splits, cartwheel your hands down, right leg to the sky. So another chance to stay, work balance, work forehead to shin, hands to ankle or calf. Feel that lift, Mula Bandha here to lift your leg higher, or play with handstand hops once more. And when you've had enough, forward fold, feet together. Halfway lift, breathe in. Exhale, tuck and curl into a little ball. Lift your heels, drop your bottom to your heels, round your forehead to your knees, puff up through your back. And then sit down to boat pose once more. So bottom down, shins out in front, hands behind your legs if you like, arms wide. If you want to use your blocks, you've got them. Bring them by your sides, right next to your hips, a little bit wider than hip distance. We're gonna play with lifting and hopping through. So you can cross your ankles, hands on the ground, hands on your blocks, hands on your books, whatever you got. Find that pelvic floor lift, press, maybe you can hover your legs. I use a little momentum, swing them through. Downward facing dog. Maybe you play with hopping back through here. A couple more times. And you can always choose to bring your blocks forward so that they're in place for a down dog hop through. And for that, your hands go a little wider than shoulder distance, hands on blocks or not. Bend your knees, breathe in, look forward. See if you can lift your hips, find your Mula Bandha, cross your ankles, legs out in front. Maybe you can lower. So depending on where you want your blocks. Further back for more of the lift from boat, further forward to prep for that downward facing dog. Let's just take one more boat pose wherever you are. Take your time, find your way there. Lift your heart, relax your shoulders. Pelvic floor lift, navel to spine. Chest is open, big breath in. Exhale, release your feet down. Hug your knees to your chest. Arms around your shins, relax your forehead. Bring your hands by your sides. Scoot your legs straight out in front of you or scoot your bottom back, whatever you prefer. Sit up tall, breathe in. Hinge forward with a flat back. Find your edge where you can't go any further. Take another inhale here, and then exhale, let yourself round all the way forward. Knees can totally bend here. Slowly lift yourself up. Either reverse tabletop or reverse plank. For plank, legs straight. For table, knees bent. So if you're taking any version, hands behind you. I like fingertips pointing toward me if that's okay on your wrists. If you'd prefer them pointing sideways or back, play with what works in your wrists and shoulders. So legs straight or bent, press down to lift yourself up. Find your pelvic floor engagement, Mula Bandha. See if that makes things a little bit easier, moves energy a little bit more to your torso. You've got less to lift. And then slowly lower yourself down. Let's take it all the way to your back. If you want your blocks handy, you can scoot them back. We won't necessarily need them, but it's always nice for the remainder of your practice. Hands in front, roll yourself down. When you get to the bottom, arms overhead, stretch your legs out, big breath in. Stick out your tongue, exhale. Once more, big inhale, stretch a little bit more. Stick out your tongue, lion's breath out. Take a recline butterfly, feet together, knees out wide, or Supta Baddha Konasana, recline cobbler's pose. One hand to your belly, one hand to your heart, and really let everything relax. So find that release of your pelvic floor. Notice if you're engaging here, if you can soften, not just there, but somewhere else in your body, shoulders, jaw, face. And then hands come outside your thighs, draw them back in toward each other. Hug your right knee into your chest, extend your left leg out long. Lift your forehead to your knees, squeeze tight. Relax your head down. With your left hand, draw your knee across your body for a spinal twist. And if you'd prefer to take knees stacked, both knees bent, if you'd prefer to take eagle legs or a different version of a twist, by all means, please go there. Stay with your breath, even if it's lighter, not quite as intense. Still connect your awareness to it. Notice it. Notice where you feel it. Notice how that keeps you right here in your body, in your practice for the next few minutes. Slowly unwind back to center. Place your right foot on the ground. Hug your left knee into your chest, and then extend your right leg straight. Lift your forehead to your knee. Squeeze tight. Relax your head down. Knee comes across your body for your spinal twist in the opposite direction, or whatever version of a twist you just did on the other side. When your two sides feel even, bring yourself back in. Feet on the ground, knees point up to the sky. Cross your right thigh up and over like a fancy leg crossing fancy lady. If you prefer figure four, you're welcome to go there. Otherwise, like we did when we started, hug your knees in. So this is kind of like a reclined cow face pose, legs crossed. If this feels like enough, stay. We've been in this shape a couple times with eagle. Or feet move sideways to the sides of your mat. You can hold your ankles, outer edges of your feet, and start to draw your feet a little closer to your shoulders as you pull your tailbone down to the ground. Slowly release, uncross. Windshield wiper right and left, a little reset between sides. Feet on the ground, knees point to the sky. Left thigh moves up and over your right, or if you took figure 4 last time, take that. Hug it into your chest. Hands to knees, hands to shins. Stay, or feet to the sides. Hold ankles, outer edges of your feet. I really pull my feet toward my shoulders, not forcing anything, but actively draw myself in, and then really lengthen through my spine to imagine tailbone to the ground. And as that feels like enough, release, uncross. One more windshield wiper. Any last shapes? Maybe it's a happy baby. Maybe there's another pose that's missing for you or that would help your practice feel a little bit more complete. Take your time into it. But also give yourself some time for appropriate rest. So when you're ready, and make sure you take it at some point, final Shavasana, legs straight, arms out wide, palms face up, or if there's another shape you prefer, you can do reclined cobblers, you can do knock-kneed, you could take this in child's pose or on your belly, your side, or even in a seat. Before we completely relax, bring your awareness to your pelvic floor, base of your spine. Find an engagement, a release, engagement, release, an engagement, and then release completely. You are welcome to stay here as long as you like. If you do feel ready to move on with your day, reconnect your awareness to your breath, and start to add little movements to fingers, toes, wrists, ankles, or gentle rock side to side of your head. Now stretch arms above you, legs long. And then turn to one side, find a fetal position. With your eyes closed or soft, press yourself up to a comfortable seat. Take a moment here to feel the connection to the ground. And place your palms together in front of your heart. Acknowledge the time you just put in for yourself, for those who you interact with. Acknowledge those who have come before us and shared this practice, and those who will come after us and continue this legacy. Lift your thumbs between your eyebrows. We'll bow our heads together. Namaste. Thanks, guys. Take your time getting up. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out, and I will see you very soon.